Verbal vibration. 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 Welcome to Verbal Vibrations, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. I am your host, Mr. Speaker. Because I'm a knowledge and light seeker. We're the poetic pulse, the people, the nation. KUDZUKIAN's the home of verbal vibration. This is a spoken word collaboration featuring artists from across the nation, uplifting the generations, celebrating our liberation from educational castration, connecting you to your real foundation. Our history did not start at a plantation. We're the poetic pulse, the people, the nation. KUDZUKIAN's the home of verbal vibrations. Find your voice, begin the celebration, earn your wings, start the migration. Come expand your education, grow, learn, build, discover revelations. That's right. Join, follow, and like verbal vibrations. We are the poetic pulse, the people, the nation. KUDZUKIAN's the home of verbal vibrations. Today, I am excited. We're going to cover another book. I want to say this beautiful book called Swallow My Sparrow by Miss Sarah Bellum Mental. She's going to blow you away. We're going to do our thing. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in just 1 minute.
R&R on Sports.
We are talking about former NBA basketball player, Brother Mario Elie. Welcome to R&R on Sports.
Pleasure to be on here with you guys, man. Thank you guys for having me.
It's R&R on Sports.
Welcome back to Verbal Vibration. Today we have Miss Sarah Bellum Mental. How you doing, Sarah?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm your host, Mr. Speaker. We're powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and now we're going to dive into Miss Sarah Bellum Mental. Please tell the audience when you first connected with spoken word poetry or writing.
Right. Writing, I would say I started writing about when I was like in 4th and 5th grade. I was like writing stories all the time. Now, spoken word, I started doing that when I was about 14 or 15. I did like college classes. I was an accelerated learner. So I took college when I was in high school.
Smart people.
Yeah, smart, hashtag smart people. And that's where I actually started doing creative writing, and I came across poetry, and my teacher hated rhyming. So I became non-rhyming, freestyle, and I was performing at the Green Mill Jazz Club when I was 14 years old. So that's actually the birthplace of slam poetry, is the Green Mill Jazz Club. So Mark Smith created it. So
where's that located at?
That's like in Chicago. That's in Chicago for sure. It's almost like Andersonville. Not quite.
Mm-hmm.
No. You're like,
I mean, maybe this particular form. You know that poetry used to be in the Olympics, so it was always a competition even back then. Now the slam piece with the rules that we have now, yeah, that's beautiful. But I was amazed to find out that it wasn't even in the Olympics. But so. How did you make the transition to spoken word because of that? And then how has your development of spoken word and writing been enhanced or hindered through this pandemic?
Oh my God, it has been enhanced. I have friends all over the world now. I have Fresh Linen, who is in Germany. I have Call Me King, who is in Honduras. I have friends in Virginia. I have friends all over the place, thanks to the pandemic, and Mrs. Speaker as well. I have friends all over the place now, and because of the pandemic, I accelerated learning. So I took workshops with Buddy Wakefield, with Chibi, with Ebony Stewart, with Black Chakra, you name it. I put myself inside of it. So like, I evolved my poetry very, very quickly. So how I was writing has changed dramatically. And then slam is like an accelerant. So when you compete with people, you really experiment with your writing and you elevate it to that next level because you're competing against this. You're about here. So you want to like elevate yourself and you're competing against yourself. If you lose, it's because you just didn't try your hardest, honestly. So it's just like making yourself better
or delivering better or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you deliver one of those poems for us right now?
All right. I was even prepared. I was like, Right. I'll be reading from like Swallow My Sparrow. This is a quick one, so we don't have to take too much time, but this is called Jackals Trying to Find Hide. The opposite of honey isn't free-flowing, but crystallized clarity where it becomes granulated goods on your teeth to congeal and coagulates like fresh blood sensing the need to solidify in veins. Everything is blue until it becomes red. Blue or red pill is just any that is encapsulated, that gives to my esophagus, finds solace in my belly, blooms like budding tea flower within hot water. He doesn't call me honey, and I appreciate that, because if I taste like anything, it would be sour gummies. Make a puckered face at the escape of words from the cage. I keep unleashing my mind like jackals looking to find the perfect hide to hide within. The kind that turns your stomach, makes you taste me twice. And then again, because I want to sit on your tongue and wait for the swallow. So.
And that is from this fabulous book entitled Poetry by Sarah Bellum Mental, Swallow My Sparrow. Now we're going to cover that a little more in detail. But what I want to ask you about right now is, so you already doing open mic and spitting poetry. Now, are you starting to move into some other areas of poetry, like the workshops that you're hosting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I just was playing with that and released it today, that I do have workshops every other Thursday starting October 14th. I'm really excited about it because I'm taking what I learned from all of these conglomerate of workshops that I've taken for 2 years with this pandemic, and basically doing what I do, just teaching and stuff. So that has me really excited. I'll also be teaching with guerrilla poets as well.
I'm a guerrilla poet. Let's go.
I love them.
So I'm gonna ask you a hard question, though. I'm gonna ask you a real hard question. What do you do when you hear not so well delivered or well written poem?
Right. I think that I'm one of those weird poets that sometimes people say this isn't poetry. I believe everything is poetry. I think that a lot of people, they don't feel secure enough in their voice or the power of their truth. That can cause hesitation, or that can cause a delay of, the cadence and stuff like that. Poetry is a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Oh my God. Say that again. What?
It's a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. It's just like language. If you learn a second language, you don't keep on using this language, you will lose it. So poetry is a daily thing if you can. Weekly if you don't have the time. But you need to flex it all the time, because you will get better with consistency. It's not an if or a when, it just is.
It is what it is.
So that's basically how I look at it. It's just like, we're all evolving and changing and stuff like that. It's holding that person in a great space and being like, I see the beauty behind what you're doing here. And when you realize your truth and your power of your words, gonna be amazing.
Right. No, you're right on point, but yes. So what else? Give the audience your social media connections.
Oh, right. So like on IG, I post the most on there. It's Sarah Mental Poet. Very simple. Facebook, I'm Sarah Bellum Mental, and you can find me easy there. And then I have a website, www.sarahbellummental.com. And on there, I have how I perform. On there, I have the workshops. On there, I have how to buy books. On there, I have everything. So that's like, and it's super simple. It's my name.com.
It's a great name. It's a great name. Oh, this is Verbal Vibrations, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network, and we are speaking to the fabulous Sarah Bellum Mental. And she didn't make that name. No, it's her name. No.
Right.
And we'll be right back after this short break.
3.
Entering into 40, I still had the same 30 and below confidence.
B.
In a bar, in your own home.
C.
You just feel unseen. And it's like, wait, what happened? Like, 2 days ago, I was the
3BC. 3 Black Chicks on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Welcome back to Verbal Vibrations, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. I'm your host, Mr. Speaker, and today we have Miss Sarah Bellum Mental, and we are discussing Swallow My Sparrow. Okay, so please tell us the inspiration about the book, and then go into the cover and what have you. Thank you.
Right. So the inspiration behind Swallow My Sparrow is basically like, if you keep swallowing the perception that people have of you, or you keep swallowing, the image that they want, you keep swallowing trauma and abuse and all the things that are really just like, you wish you could talk, but you can't because you're not safe. And then finally you kind of break free, like the adorable little sparrow in this. And, you kind of have the ability to be yourself for the first time ever. So like, speaking your truth is very, very powerful. And to speak your truth, despite that truth not being so pretty, despite people being like, why don't you talk about nice things that happen to you? You don't let that stop you. So
you say speak it. Do you mean so we can initially write it? For
yes.
those who don't have the strength to stand up and go full on,
Mm-hmm.
write it first,
Mm-hmm.
and then ultimately speak it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then you speak to a lot of things that you've gone through in your upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And how does this writing thing, how has it helped you develop the relationships with the people that have caused you to swallow some sparrows?
Right. I love how you said that. I feel like when you write things, when you realize things, when you talk them, when you perform them, it takes back your strength. It takes back your power. There's a lot of giving power away. Sometimes when you have a harder time stating your feelings. I was a very quiet child, surprisingly. Everyone's always like, oh, she didn't talk. That's crazy. She always talks. That's how my family likes to say it. But I just kind of like let a lot of things happen. But, my big thing for writing is like, when you're assaulted or you go through these really traumatic things, it's not your fault. I really just want that to come across. Mental illness is not your fault. Mental health issues are not your fault. Genetically being predisposed to mental health problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my blood.
Not your fault. I mean, it's
not.
There are things that, so as a leader, there are things you need to take. You need to take responsibility for a lot of things, and then there are some things that you can do some things about, but you don't have to take responsibility for the origin of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there more books?
Right? There is. So there's this guy, and then there's this one. So this is Buried Bones Home. This is with Mindwell Poetry. They're also a small New Mexico publisher who focuses on destigmatizing mental health. Okay. So like both of these are New Mexico publishers. I am in Houston. Yeah. The pandemic is a hell of a thing. So yeah, I met both of them through Mindwell. So
and give those socials again, those social medias where they can get those books.
Right. So Sarah Mental Poet is the IG, super simple. You don't even have to spell my name. Sarah Bellum Mental is the Facebook, and then my website will have everything, and that's just literally my name, sarahbellummental.com.
And you're gonna do a CD when?
When Fresh Linen helps me. I want to. I will sit down with it, but I still need to start like my 3rd manuscript and like my 4th manuscript and like my 5th manuscript, because I have about 6 to 8 book ideas right now. So just beginning.
So you're gonna give us something out of the book again?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
No. A poem out. It was a poem out of the
book. A poem. Oh yeah. So I'm like completely lost. So all right. So this is a really great book. if you have someone who's like, I hate poetry, it makes no sense. This stuff, it really like does it very clearly. I think I'm gonna do from the first poem on this. And this poem is titled God, Did You Watch It Happen?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine where we're going with this.
You know, already.
God, do you mind if I call you that? Is it blasphemous to say your name? If I say it 3 times, will you show up in my mirror to convince me not to do what I was going to do? Do you think of me when your hands supposedly made women, made us from clay, borrowing ribs from men so we could always be a part of them, leaving a piece forgotten from him to create she? Did you mean to have us preceded by men? Mean for us not to have a voice? Did you want to pluck my cords that had been vocal about what had happened to me? Did you watch what he did to me? Then what the other man, there was another man and another again did. Scent changing on my skin, bruises blooming like flowers on my paleness. Did you see how I fought them despite my lack of strength? Was I supposed to call on you, oh dear God, for more? Older men with hands roughened by callous, hands like a bonfire trying to burn my clothes off me. I was a sacrifice, a lamb for them to eat, and I saw them as friends, but I was a child. Do you mean for little girls to lose their innocence first? Is my innocence sacrifice for you to hold in your palms and crush like rose petals dried and falling to earth, a red rain to show how I cried? Until my eyes swelled back in my head, my throat became a desert, a monsoon that never touched me, and his scent, their scent. Did you mean for it to cling to me harder than anything I've ever smelled? Did you mean for my date once to smell like him? Acid rose in my throat. I felt like my windpipe was being choked by him again. He had his hands on my throat. And did you watch him? Was I supposed to walk 40 days and 40 nights, resist temptation from the devil, prove the worth of my soul before you'd stop sending men and boys to a little girl who couldn't defend? Believing in you felt like a lie from the beginning, but their touch branded me, and oh God, do you know how I survived when I called your name 3 times in the mirror before I thought of how to get out of my skin for good? I called on myself. Learned to shield my skin in carbon, combusted like a black hole, sucking everything in, became stardust, then a creature waging an arms race for heaven. You can keep heaven, God. I will claim this earth as my home because all I know are these traumas, and no, don't take them from me. You wanted me to suffer. You love those who suffer the most, like Job. You tortured with boils, burned his family from him in a bet with the devil. I've never been one for games. I've lost maybe on purpose. Trained to pray to a God I didn't believe in. Sometimes I said your name 3 times to see if you'd appear. Instead, I saw myself. Eyes like a sunken ship. A hazel kaleidoscope of color speaking to me. You don't need God. You never have. Did you watch them when they tasted me? With my words screaming no, echoing into the night. I don't know what you feel like, God, but I sense the weight of my arms hugging myself, rocking my body like a cradle to sleep at night, soothing myself. With hymns made to hum, vibrating my vocal cords to keep me alive, I have kept myself alive. Now, thanks to you, God.
Wow.
That's
Very
that
powerful. That was Sarah Bellum Mental, and this Bellum Mental, and this is the KUDZUKIAN Network sponsoring the Verbal Vibrations with your host, Mr. Speaker, and we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
I got up and went to the gym at 9 o'clock this morning. We talked about on the show the kind of workouts I do. It's not fun. I work out until I feel like I'm either going to pass out or throw up. And when I get to that point, I'm just like, oh, I haven't done either. Guess I got to keep going.
The hell with all of that.
And then after
got like tasks and stuff to do afterwards.
Exactly. I was tired, boss.
Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN! This is an erotic poem because they've been asking for some erotica. I do erotica. I love it. This is a new shit piece. The poem title is Sex Be a Cleansing Thing. Sex is a cleansing act between you and I, where we are held sacred in this moment. Continuing through a time continuing of clashing bodies, I am the white caps against your waves, crash into me like salt against the shore. How I taste your skin and it becomes lychee, passion fruit, tropical breeze with a hint of calming to give me the ability to shed this day, erode it away until we find a new way to stay still in us. Enter me and bow before the portal between legs. Worship this place. Only your tongue can take grace spoken and deliver it to clit. Make me drive hips, a train with pistons that won't stop until this world falls away to electricity. Inner twitching of thighs, Morse code language, only we know where I cascade, and drive your tongue further inside to take the prize of my orgasm and steal it away on a pregnant tongue. I love the way you make me move from your body when you touch. When touch means survival, all of this pleasure, but you teach me every time. You eat me from the inside out. I'm worth it.
Wow. This is verbal vibration, and that is Bellum Mental with a pregnant tongue. I'm like, what in the world is that?
Yeah.
So I guess my first question is, so you have you write about sexual trauma, and then you go into this sexual liberation. Was that a process, a transition? What happened? How did you get there from being traumatized and now being free enough to write so vividly?
That's such a great question. Like, I have been talking about sexual assault survivors and been talking to people who are like, for the first time, they're like, I was raped. I've never told anyone. You're the first person. And then they're like, I have intimacy issues. I'm like, yes, this is what happens actually, is that your sex is betrayed. You don't own your body. And so writing about sex is basically reclaiming the power that I have. And also, like, I love it. I love sex. It's so great. It's like the best thing in the world. Stress relief, you release endorphins and dopamine, and you release, like, you know, the cuddling hormone as well for you guys to bond. It's just a wonderful thing. So I have an amazing partner. They are fantastic. And so me reclaiming sex also is thanks to them, because like I love them and they are amazing and I never not want this person. So being inspired is like, boom, because I just just like that. It's a
walk in the room. What did you
okay. I just look over and I'm like, yes.
And that inspiration also comes, you can like look at them and write too.
Oh yeah. I totally do. I'm just like, He'll look at me and it's like, you're writing about me, aren't you? I'm like, oh yes. You are a piece of Grecian art, sir. Marble everywhere.
That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, that makes it easier, is having a supportive partner, actually reclaiming sex through someone who his intuition knows me better than myself. So that really makes it okay to kind of like, you know, reclaim, because like sex, my mother would be like, she loves sex.
Yeah, but that's the people. I'm talking about the repressed individuals judging you. How do you deal with them?
Oh, that's so cute. Repressed well, then they need to get on, you know, the sex train, because you know what? If you're repressed, you're not having enough sex, you know, like that's like a thing, you know.
Like that's your problem, not mine.
That's your problem. I'm living in it. Okay. Like I will be like, praise it. This sex is a church. Hallelujah. Just like doing all that fun stuff. So you know, people who judge or anything, it's more about them than it is about you. So like, it doesn't matter to me. People can be like that.
You're right, because it is more about them, but you internalize it, then there you go, down the slippery slope of believing what they said.
Oh, right. I totally don't do that. Like I'm one of those people, I just don't give a fuck. And I've been like that since I was a kid. So I just don't care what people think. I never have. I'm weird. I'm strange. I'm diabolical. I'm a maniacal laughter all the time. I look like I'm in trouble. Like I look like I'm actually planning something bad. All the time. Like he'll come in and he'll be like, what did you do wrong, Sarah? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. This is my face. Like I've been recently innocent.
But listen, I'm gonna say this. Not sure if all the audience can see, but I would tell you, it doesn't go past me that you do this erotic, debaucherous poetry by sitting in your bed.
I always, yes.
And I'm like,
here.
Do you not realize what that does? You're sitting in your bed and you're spitting this poetry. It's like, okay.
This is where the magic happens. How can you not get inspired here? This is like a magic portal here. Okay. Like I tried writing over there in like a
No, it's your office. It's your office.
It's literally my office. You should see. That's my work office.
I can't do this with you. I cannot do this with you. You hear me? It's my office. This is where I do. Look here. You make him punch a clock when you come in this bedroom?
Oh, he punches my clock. So
oh Lordy,
that is how that works.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the freeness, because I would guarantee you that you are pulling some people into some areas that are going to free them into being more open and more, because when you get repressed, it just represses other things until it's leading to health things. Where else are you going with poetry?
Right. So I have the workshops. Workshops are happening in October 14th, every other week. You can sign up for them on my website, www.sarahbellmental.com. I also am going to be an instructor with Guerrilla Poets. I'm currently working with them, and my first workshop should be in October as well. Okay. Probably October 4th. So that's happening. I'm planning to keep slamming. So I am planning to be a part of the Women of the World Poetry Slam. I did it this year in person in Dallas. It was an experience. And to do So Fried in person as well. So,
and there's a slam team in Houston too.
I know. I will never qualify for it. Like,
you gotta keep trying. I don't want to hear that.
I know, right? I'm doing the slams. Like, you gain points to be a part of it, which is totally a great concept for like how you get the team together. Is the highest performing slammers. That's who does the team. You have some amazing talent inside Houston. You have Omar,
I met them.
Blunt, like
they'll make that, but you got to keep doing
the shooter.
I appreciate you, but you keep doing you keep doing that nasty poetry.
You just want me to compete in a slam with
Of course I do. I love it.
I just want it.
So this has been Verbal Vibration, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. I'm your host, Mr. Speaker, and we have been getting verbally I'm not gonna say that. We've been getting verbally trained by Miss Sarah Bellum Mental. I was gonna say verbally tossed, but
I'll toss you. I mean, it's
Lord have mercy, girl. Don't say no stuff like that on here.
I'm sick. I have muscles. They're coming back slowly.
Oh Lord, look at you. We love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on and just showing us your talent. Thank you for all you've done. We appreciate you. This is Verbal Vibration.
Keeping it real, right, and funky.
When Justice Scalia passed unexpectedly President Obama's last year in office, the Republicans refused to even give him a hearing. If he had been confirmed, you would have had a 5-4 progressive majority on the Supreme Court.
Funky politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN! This has been Verbal Vibrations, powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. And Mr. Speaker, I'm going to give you a poem Miss Sarah Bellum Mental requested. It's entitled You. Girl, I want to haiku you. I mean, I want to immortalize you. In ink, on sheets, between lines I do. From the front and from behind, it is true. I want to float with you, ride slowly with you. I want to get inside of you. And yes, baby, I want to come and go with you. I want to spend hours pleasuring you. I want to discover hidden erogenous zones on you. I want to learn from you. And if you allow me, I want to teach you a thing or two. I want to feed off you. And if you're up to it, baby, I want to eat off you. See, baby, I am a sexual carnivore because I love this shit. I eat the vagina first and then I kill it over and over. So put it on fucking rewind until we both lose our sexual minds. We will only stop with the energy to reflect back upon those nasty things that we do and plan our next sexual interlude when we will attempt to reach physical limits before we conclude. By no means am I through with you. All day long, I plan to get to you. I am continuously thinking about you, baby. You inspire me to be better. This is true. My body is here, but my mind is in a faraway kind of mood. I'm in paradise when I think about you. I cannot even write without thinking of you. Your body has 17 perfect curves because you, baby, are my sexual haiku. In peace. This has been Verbal Vibrations powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network. I'm your host, Mr. Speaker. Today we have Miss Sarah Bellum Mental, who is absolutely nasty. Thank you all for joining us.
Verbal Vibrations, hosted by James Mr. Speaker Sears. Directed, produced, recorded, and distributed by KUDZUKIAN.